You want a glass of water or anything?
No, because I don't.
She got a whole bucket of water. What do you mean? Get her a straw.
I know, but that'll make me have to pee. Yeah.
My first job was as a little barista at a local coffee shop, and they made us wear head coverings, and I got these cute scarves.
Yeah.
And it was like my thing, but I couldn't tie them properly. And so sometimes they'd slip off, and I'd tie them like under my chin, and I ended up just looking like an idiot.
Cooking or making bread. And it's just
Cute.
Does it look cute?
It does look cute.
Does it?
Yes. Welcome back to the Art of Podcast. Today we have Rylee. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, my name is Rylee. I am a pottery teacher. I have my bachelor's in art, 3D, mainly pottery. And I teach at a kind of private school, homeschool deal where I deal with a lot of kids who like do homeschool and then they come to our school, Pecan Ranch Academy, to do any electives or any like classes that they wouldn't be able to take at their house, that they would need like a school to go to for that.
Yeah.
So
I love that. So what got you into this? Is this like a high school class you took and never looked back, or was it a journey? What does that look like for you?
it was definitely, I knew that I always wanted to try out pottery. And I wasn't able to get into like the ceramics class in middle school. It was already like filled up. I didn't make it. And then I changed schools, and then I got into my sophomore year. I was able to get into ceramics 1.
Your sophomore year of high school?
My sophomore year of high school. Mm-hmm. And I instantly fell in love with it. And I knew that that is what I wanted to like focus on. And so and I knew I was always an artsy person. I loved painting. I loved like coloring anything. And I didn't like drawing too much. I wasn't really good at drawing. But colors and stuff like that was really fun. Yeah. But I had never dipped into like 3D. And so as soon as I was able to get into ceramics, I fell in love.
Yeah.
And so I took my sophomore year, and then I changed schools again. And so I was trying to get into, it was a brand new school. They had just opened up, and I was trying to get into ceramics 2, but because no one had taken ceramics 1 there yet, they didn't let me in. So they put me in ceramics 1 again, which was fine. And so I did ceramics 1 my junior year, and then the ceramics 2 was like the second semester. Mm-hmm. And then I did AP art my senior year, and I like won a scholarship for some of my stuff. And I was like, I'm declaring my major out of high school. So that is what started me in college. COVID hit, and so no one was doing studio classes. So I had to wait until my 5th semester of college. And so then I finally got back into ceramics classes again after COVID, after campus opened up again. And yeah, the rest is history. I just kept doing it. Never looked back.
Tell me a little bit about these art things you won. This was in high school, it sounds like. Yeah,
in high school, my pottery, I keep calling it pottery because we call it pottery, but it's called ceramics. Uh-huh. My ceramics teacher in high school, he nominated me. Each teacher can nominate 1 student, so I was the lucky student. He nominated me for, it was called the Shooting Stars Scholarship. And so I won the 2nd place prize. Mm-hmm. Still awesome. I got featured in their newsletter, and I won $700 of scholarship money.
Okay.
I used that money to buy myself an iPad. So I was a cute iPad girly.
Oh, I love it. Cool. Okay, so first class was in sophomore year. Mm-hmm. You won awards. You decided this is my major straight into college.
Yep.
how did you know you wanted to go to the college you went to? What was that experience like? Tell us
Well,
about that.
I went to BYU, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very unique high school experience. Because I moved around so much, I didn't have a lot of friends. So I knew I wasn't like gonna go to a state school for a state that I don't really care for yet. So I really only applied for BYU, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in, and that was that. And I just kept planning like all of that, my life in Idaho after that.
So what was that like while you were at BYUI? It's your first day. Are you touring the campus? Do you know what to expect?
Goodness.
Like, where do we go from here?
So my first day was like the first week of January. So,
ooh.
And winter semester there is pretty crazy.
And BYUI stands for BYU Idaho.
Yes.
So we're in Idaho for this school.
Yes. In eastern Idaho. I came from I grew up in Arizona, so I hadn't seen too much snow. But I was in Kansas for a little bit, so I've shoveled a driveway, I've driven on icy roads, but like trying to walk in like 5 feet of snow to my classes as a freshman was a bit shocking.
Yeah.
Luckily it wasn't like I had a good attitude going in. It was definitely mind over matter. But let me tell you, my first class of the day, like 9 a.m., is across campus. My apartment complex is on one side of campus, and I had to go to the Hinckley that's on the other side of campus. And I walked through all of the buildings that I could.
Oh my gosh.
It was very funny.
Yeah, that's a lot going from anywhere to Idaho Januaries.
Oh my gosh,
crazy.
it is.
So if you started school as a declared ceramics major or 3D art?
Yeah, 3D art, I think.
What did your class schedule look like?
Well, so right off the bat, like with any degree, I'm guessing you have to get rid of those pesky prereqs. So, and it was like not fun. I had like color theory, drawing, and then also, what were they called? Like your generals.
Yes.
So I had a bunch of generals, and then I think I had 2, maybe 3 art classes. So I wasn't even getting to like the nitty gritty of the art stuff that I wanted to do. I'm pretty sure I needed to do 2 classes to even get into a ceramics class. So I was like, I can't touch clay yet.
Okay, so I also went to BYUI, and maybe this is just me, but did you have to take like that, it's like shapes and forms class? Do you know what I'm talking about? Color and shapes class?
Yes, I think, well, so my first semester was weird because of COVID. So I like vaguely remember a little bit of it, and then I remember doing it at home on my kitchen table on Zoom. But yes, I think we're talking about the same thing where we would, like, you had to buy paints.
Yes, and you had to cut out all of these little black and white shapes. Okay, I also took that online. Before I dog on it, what did you think about some of those classes that you had to take as like a freshman before you got into the actual nitty gritty?
They were fun because I feel like I had focused so much on 3D at the end of high school. So like, I had taken painting in high school, but I think my last year I took jewelry, I took sculpture, and I took ceramics. And so I hadn't done a lot of painting or drawing. And so I was kind of excited to like dip into that again because I knew I had to, so I might as well like be a little excited about it. But I definitely was sad that I was like top of my game in high school, winning scholarships.
Right. And
My
now you're a small fish in a big pond.
And my ceramics teacher in high school, because he also knew that he was building an art program from scratch, he would, like, without really letting us know, he would submit our work to shows, and he's like, I titled your piece.
I titled your
piece and submitted it to this show. I mean, I made this slab built like pitcher. It was like it's like a vase, but I had that, and then like 4 cups, and I did like these taped line designs, and so they're black and white, contrast, like stripy. They were so cute, and I can give you a picture of them.
Yeah.
And he called it Good Company.
Okay.
And he's like you're sitting down with friends and having like whatever beverage is in this pitcher.
So when they ask you why you named your piece that, you're like sitting down with good friends.
No. Yeah. So I like had an idea of what Scott was going for, my high school teacher.
And how did that help you as you were like pursuing your degree? Was it something where you're just like, okay, this is obviously, you know, a professional in his field because he's teaching this, and you were able to learn tips and tricks from that? Did that help you? Did you have to really make your own way in certain aspects?
Yeah. He definitely gave me, like, I think, not to toot my own horn, the talent, I had the talent, but he gave me so much more confidence in what I was able to achieve, and hold on, this is scary. I'm cutting off. Woo! And like that I am a professional in this field now.
And confidence is everything for artists.
Oh my gosh,
like you can have all the ability in the world. If you don't know that you're good, you are not going to make.
Like, you will get hurt.
Yes.
Like, you can't take critiques. You can't, like, you just can't support yourself.
That's such a good point. You know, I don't really think about that. Yeah, but especially being somebody who got their degree in this, and we went to the same school, so I kind of have an idea as to what you went through. It's like critiques every single week. At least it was for that. Every single week you're going to have critiques as you go through your piece, at the end of your piece.
And they're gonna tear your piece down.
And you really could tell me what you thought. I feel like people in my area, it's like you could tell people who could take criticism and use it to make it better. And then during critiques, there were people who were like, but I meant for it to be this way, or but.
Oh my goodness.
And then it's like, they don't come up with anything new. Everything stays the same level the whole time. What does that look like in 3D art?
I see this even more now as a teacher. And it is of small children, so their imaginations are even more crazy. But I was also a TA for the ceramics class, so I would be there to help people like learn to center, and just pull walls and just learn the wheel, as well as like their hand building projects. And I had this one girl, and she had my cell phone number, and it was kind of annoying. So she would like call me up on like when I'm not scheduled to be in the studio and helping out, and someone else is supposed to be there. And she'd be like, "Hey, Rylee, can you come to the studio and help me center? I can't." And I'm like,
"Come to the studio, girl."
No. But also she would go to critiques, and she'd be like, yeah, okay. And it would be in one ear, out the other. Right. Actually, it wouldn't even go in one ear. It bounced off her ear. I don't know how. like she's just nodding her head and just being like, yeah, okay. And I was just like, how did you pick this program? Can you just not? I don't want to be mean, but I was like, can you just not do anything else?
So obviously criticism is a huge deal for artists to be able to take and, you know, use it for their benefit. Can you tell me something for 3D artists, especially, that maybe I wouldn't see as a 2D artist that would set you ahead of the curve? Or maybe something that like makes you fall behind?
Oh my gosh, you're asking the good questions here. I think something that a lot of people don't, because I think everyone who's not a potter just gets excited about a handmade piece. And so there's also like this this idea of craftsmanship where you can make, like, I could be finished right now, cut this off, and then I could call it like a vase.
Right.
And there were people in my classes that would be like, okay, yeah, this is done. And they would, and then because there's people, like normal non-potter people out there who just want something handmade, they're like, oh my gosh, I'll give you $80 for that. And he was a business student, so
right.
He knew how to do that. But like this is halfway done for me. So learning how to like actually like, I don't know, like take pride in the work. And then also like, it's just, I don't know. That is a really good question. That's the answer that my brain came up with.
Perhaps it's personal, your own personal style. And I mean, that really is what art is. What is the thing you're trying to convey? But it seems there are like certain things you have to check off. Like I took a ceramics class in college. I took it with Brother Feek, if you know Brother Feek.
Oh, I love Brother Feek. He's so fun.
And
he's the best.
I was the student where if I created what you have going on right now, first of all, it would have taken me a week to do what you just did. But after that, I would have been not only said, hey, I'm done, but I would have been really proud of myself.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Which if you only took ceramics 1.
Right.
So you should be proud of this.
Well, I never got that good, but yeah. So tell me what I'm missing. If a lot of this is personal taste, but with anything in art, there is a checklist of things for craftsmanship that you have to do properly. Can you give me that checklist? What are you looking for when you pick up a handmade piece, maybe a handmade bowl, a handmade plate? What are some key things that show good craftsmanship?
Yes. Okay. So if you're buying specific to the artist, we want to see something that catches their style. It's like their fingerprint. And a teacher, like my teacher in college, I had Brother Benson for all of my classes. He was like, I know exactly who made this. And they didn't put their name on it, but I know exactly who made this, and I need them to come and put their name on it.
And that's really important.
Yeah. So having, like, once you, like, get to a point where, like, if I were to buy something at, like, a farmer's market or something, I want to see something that not everyone is making, because I think there is a lot in handcrafted goods where they see something on Pinterest and then they replicate it.
Yes.
And they get to the point where they can make a lot of them and then they sell them. And it's just the same stuff that everyone else is making. And that's just kind of boring.
Yes.
So I want to see something where I can't get this anywhere else. Which sometimes you do have to, like, that comes at a bigger cost. I don't know what I'm making right now, actually. I think she's cute, though.
Okay, so you've got signature style.
An artist style. I'm bellying it out right now. Let's see. Let's see how far I can push it. This is going to be a vase. I didn't intend for it to be a vase. I don't know what I was intending it to be. But she's a vase now.
I like it.
Let's see. So signature style, very important. Now, specific to potters and ceramicist, potheads, if you will.
Oh.
There's also, like, you want to get a certain, like, weight to it. If it's too thick, that just means that you didn't stretch the clay to its potential.
And that's just how far you pull, like how long.
Well, it is partially how far you pull. It's also how close you trim. So the second, like, part of making something on the potter's wheel is once this is dry, I would flip it over and add a foot, and then just get rid of any bulky stuff down here that I don't want on there. But you can also do that. You can do that while pulling. A lot of snobby potters will be like, why are you trimming so much? You could have pulled that when you were making it. And I'm like, shut up.
Right.
I didn't know this was going to be a vase when I made it.
Okay, so you've got thickness, signature style.
Signature style.
Is there anything that's like will stand out to you as poor craftsmanship if you see it?
When things just look like one of my classmates that I thought had a very poor craftsmanship. Like, he wouldn't finish his pieces. He wouldn't take the time to, like, fix, like, the bottom down here. He would trim, like, just a foot, but not, like, try to get rid of any texture, because he would just put, like, he would just slap glaze on top and then put an $80 price tag on it, and then it would also sell, which is so offensive.
So
yeah,
something
just
that
taking
just
the
looks
time.
unfinished.
Yeah, but that's like, it's hard for that to be described because you won't know. Like, I just wish you, like, took it a little farther, but you wouldn't know that unless, like, you, like, thought through the process. So, like, people who don't do pottery just kind of would gloss over that and be like, oh, I wish they, like, did this to it after they stopped.
Yeah, and is there anything that jumps out at you at, like, what this is?
Well, so my style that I like to do is I carve basically everything that I make. That I would, like, there was one semester of Ceramics 3 where you would make your own syllabus. And so I was like, I had so much fun making these plates, so low bowls. And I would carve the side of them, and they were so fun. And I had, like, a big show, like, I had an art show with them, and I, like, sold a lot of them, and it was awesome. But everyone just really, like, connected with them because I did so many, like, all of them were different. I did, like, 40. And I just got to focus on that form and then also just the carving. And so I think, to me, in my brain, this is unfinished. Like, I don't want to just put glaze on this and then...
Because the walls are too thick?
Well, no, like, I mean,
it doesn't have your signature style?
Yeah, I think so. I just, like, it's the embellishment of it.
Okay.
Because the embellishment of carving or adding, like, I would carve the whole thing. So the whole outside of it, there would be carvings through the whole surface. But some people will do just, like, little, like, just, like, wispy designs. Like, everyone's different. But some people just add, like, little patterns, but I would just carve the whole thing and make it just look very textile.
Yeah.
And, like, I love the feel, like, just grabbing it and, like, having the ridges dig into your fingertips And like that is just what's really fun to me and what catches my eye. And so whenever I see, like, whenever I get to this point, I'm like, I finished it, but it's not done.
Right.
I have to wait for it to dry a little bit and then I can carve it. So
interesting. Okay, so I want to go back to this signature style. And this goes way off of our conversation. I
That's
am
okay.
obsessed with the thought of signature style.
Yeah.
Now, of course, in the 2D world, I'm sure when we hear the word signature style, for me at least, one of the first artists that come up is Van Gogh. I see new Van Gogh pieces all the time that I've never seen before, and I immediately know it's either Van Gogh or it's Van Gogh inspired.
Yeah.
Because of how distinct his style is.
His brushwork.
Can you give me any artists who have inspired you, or what is it about your signature style? How did it come to be? Why is it inspiring to you? What drew you to it? Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
I don't think there's, for my style, which I would say is the carving, I don't know if there was any one artist that I drew from for that. I think I was like, this bowl is kind of boring. I'm just going to do something to it.
Right.
And I really connected to it. So I just kept doing it. And then after I started doing that, I kept getting like carving artists on like social media. And so I would get it from there, but I don't think it inspired my initial style, but I definitely love, there's 3 artists that I can think of, and I can only think of like their Instagram names. So there's number 1, his name is Eric Landon, but he goes by Tortoise.
Okay.
And he is probably like the coolest. Oh my gosh. So he'll take like 50 pounds of clay and he'll make these huge vessels, and he stretches them so thin, and he goes until he fails. Like he definitely keeps a lot of his work, but you see a lot more of him going until failure and stretching that work as far as it can go, mainly because he does these work. He's a traveling artist and he does workshops.
Okay.
So he just likes, all potters like to do this when other people are watching. I love doing it with my students, where I will just like smash something, or like I'll have a very wide bowl. It's going to flop at some point just because of gravity. And they're like, no, why didn't you stop? It was so good. You could have kept that. And as a teacher, you don't keep a lot of things because your stuff doesn't fit in the kiln.
Right.
But he would make these huge vessels, and oh my goodness. And his stuff does have like this style to them. They're very clean, and some of them are like bumpy. Like he'll add like these little, like they look like clouds. And they're huge. Oh my gosh.
What is this clouds? Is it a carving?
It's like
during the firing process?
No, so it's just bumpy. So I have this tool here. And it's just like this. I tried to get a tall one so I could mimic him, but I only got the zigzag one. Let's see, can I actually just use this to use it?
Yeah, can you show us on this?
Let's see. He wouldn't use this. He would use I think he would start with, you would rough draft it and then you would refine it. So let me push this back because this vase won't accept it very well. So I need like a cylinder first. But he would just make them so big and curvy, and they'll just be like huge, these huge vessels. And he's a bad example of what you would teach new potters.
Yeah.
Because our arms aren't strong enough to push the clay, so you always anchor into your body, so you can use your body weight to press the clay. Dude's got the biggest arms I've ever seen, and he's just out here, elbows out like this, just using his biceps
That's crazy.
to push
I
the clay.
remember when I was taking that pottery class for the first time, I had no idea how much strength it took. Because you see all these cute little hippie girls, you know, sitting down at their potter's wheel, pulling up like it's nothing. I remember I had to be in like a full jean jumpsuit, first of all, elbows anchored in, and I was like using my core, using my legs, using my biceps. I was like, oh my gosh. And your hands get torn up by any fiber if you're using recycled clay. I had no idea how much real blood, sweat, and tears would go.
So once you learn how to anchor yourself, and it's incredibly easy, so that like when I'm teaching my students, which our age range is like K through middle school. So I'll have like 6-year-olds, and then I'll also have like 14-year-olds.
Oh, that's awesome though.
And all of them, they don't understand. I'll see this because they want good back posture, and I'm like, elbows in. I want to see T-Rex arms. We come up with the weirdest stuff for them to understand that their arms are not strong enough to push that clay center. The clay will bully them. So it would be like this, but he would also, they're on such a bigger scale. He would probably like make one hump like this. Or actually, no, that's too big. They're like this amount of increments. But he didn't have like a tool for them. He could use like a metal rib and bend it. Yeah. And he would use that. He's just the coolest. I want him to come to Arizona and do a workshop, but I'm pretty sure they're really expensive. Another artist, and this one's also pretty famous, his name is Florian Gadsby. And he is also very well known because all of his videos are like ASMR. He just has a very calm voice.
I'm not gonna lie, the ASMR ceramicist get me every time.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
I've been trying, I don't have a good enough setup. I've been trying to do like videos of just me making stuff on the wheel. But I have so much like exterior noise because it's like an outdoor studio. So I have cars and like my AC unit, which I need because it's hot.
Yeah, I didn't know it was an outdoor class. It's
not outdoor, but it's in a warehouse that doesn't have electricity, and it's like kind of gutted. So
that's so cool though. I can just imagine like all these kids and doing this class and this little gutted warehouse. Like that's so crazy.
No, it's so fun, and I need to get you down there.
Yes.
It'd be so fun to have you guys there. We would call these like bubble vases.
I love it.
Or bubble, whatever, just because it's bubbly.
Okay, so I still want to know a little more about you as an artist. You're telling me about these artists that inspired you, but I want to know what it is about them that inspired you and how that affects your practice. And what does your practice look like?
Well, I would describe myself as a production potter, which means normally I would like formulate an idea for something I want to create. And I am kind of driven by the money. So if I get an idea like, oh my gosh, all these people might buy this, I'm going to make 50 of them. And like make them as best I can. So I have a different bat system where I have like 20 inserts, and I can just take out the insert, put it away, and then put a new one in and just go, 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 go. And that is like, I'm really good at that. I've been working, like that was one thing, especially when I did all my bowls, because I would make like 6 to 8 at a time because they were about the same amount of clay as this guy, but they would just be wide. Actually, I think this guy's done. I'm gonna make one. Let's make a blade. Oh my goodness. We're gonna put you right here. I hope I don't step on it. Okay. But I love making the same thing over and over and over, just because it's like really good practice.
Yeah.
Like you can refine any, like if you think that you want to do something different, you can tweak it, and it's just like each one is kind of a rough draft of itself, which is really fun.
Can you tell me about some of the problems that like arose when you first began ceramics, and then some that you deal with now?
Yeah. I think so. When I first started, and I think I have stopped just out of convenience and like necessity. I would use dark brown gritty clay because I just loved, and I still do, I love how dark clay works with like light glazes. The contrast of it is just so beautiful. And so all of my bowls from my show were all dark clay, and it eats up your hands. It's like sandpaper if you don't lubricate properly, which you need more like slip than water. So like even centering that right there, I would have had like stains right in my palm.
And when you say dark clay, do you just mean like that recycled clay, and that's
I
why
would
it has
get
little shards in
I
it?
would get the dark brown, which would make the recycled clay, because the recycled clay is all the B mix, which this is B mix. And then just all the different clay bodies that everyone uses, and then they scrap their things, and then they would put it in our pug mill that would mix it and then poop it out. So it's usable clay. The recycled clay is just everything all in one. So you would have a little bit of dark brown in there. But I would spend a little bit of money on the dark brown just because it was so like dark and deep. It was brown. And then it would fire, and it was like this color. These are all
that's
the same.
beautiful.
It would get so dark, but I would mix my own. I would do half recycled, so it would have some lighter clays in it, and I would mix it with the dark brown just to give it a little bit more depth, a little lighter. But also it'd make it a little softer. And I could work. Once you like wedge it and work it more, you have to wedge it first. Yeah. What was our follow-up question?
Yeah, what are some of the things you've run into?
The problems. So centering was definitely, especially after, it was my 5th semester of college that I was able to get back into ceramics. So it was like a good 2 years of not being on the wheel. And I want to say, I don't remember too much about high school, but I wasn't on the wheel too much in high school. I was like, I am a hand building girl. And now I'm not. I don't like hand building. I have really grown to love the wheel and just really understand it.
Yeah.
And I've gotten really good at it, so it's like easy to me. It comes very naturally. So early on, centering was kind of hard. I would always get like little wobbles. And pulling evenly or having thin walls was always difficult. But those are always like newbie potter, like roadblocks.
And what are some tips and tricks you would give someone who's just starting out to be able to get over those hurdles? So
hopefully you're not like a 7-year-old and you can understand. Like I have trying to teach these elementary school kids how to use the wheel is very difficult because they'll apply it for like 5 seconds and then they'll forget what I said, and then they're just like, I just like touching it. This is 50% of class time is just them feeling the wheel or using the sponge. on the clay and seeing how spirals work. So trying to explain anything to an elementary school kid is very difficult. But I usually tell them, well, when they center clay, obviously I'm not giving them 3 pounds of clay to center. I'm giving them 1, maybe. And they have to have elbows in. I center like this with my right hand on top. And there's some people out there that say, like, if you're left-handed, it's different. I think if you just train your brain to do, I am right-handed, so I don't really know. I could try to teach my husband. He's left-handed. Let's see. One of the hints that I give them is that the clay is moving, you have to be rigid. So you can't have it like move you back and forth like this. You are as still as a statue. So when those bumps come, they don't hit you. You let them just pass by and you'll mold them how you want them. Let's get this nice and low. Centering is like a huge thing. When I'll have like a few students that have taken my classes multiple times, like back to back to back. They can't get enough of it. Like centering is just now clicking with them.
Really?
Just because, well, we have the class set up. It's an 8-week course, but they only meet once a week. So they only get, and we do half hand building and half wheel. So they realistically only get like 3 chances on the wheel, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
I would liken our classes to like summer camp. We give them opportunity to try the wheel and learn as much as they can, but not a lot of them get it. Just because you need constant practice and repetition and all that stuff.
So I'm hearing putting in time, putting in practice on the wheel, hands-on practice, and you are stone. You are rigid because your clay is going to move.
Yes.
Okay.
Because your clay, you can like bend it, you can mold it. The clay is squishy. It should not be fighting you so much. So it's funny to see how the clay can jerk them around.
Okay, what would you say are some things that you've gotten really good at? Maybe you had to work to be good at, and why? Like, why are you good at this? What tips?
I think I honestly, it has been a hot minute since I was in college. But I wouldn't even say I was a phenomenal centerer in college.
Really?
Like, I could get it done, but the real test was like every day in my classroom centering these 1-pound chunks of clay, because like they have to get it centered before they can literally do anything else. Otherwise it's an immediate fail. Like if their stuff is moving around, you can't open it up. Your hands are moving everywhere. It's gonna fly off the wheel. So because I know they're not gonna be here that long, I would like quickly in like 3 seconds center their stuff. So I've had so much repetition centering like small amounts of clay, and I kept doing that over and over and over. And there was one time that I was like, okay, I have like a good chunk of time to myself and I don't have to be anywhere after school. So I got like 9 pounds of clay out. And I just started making this big bowl, and I centered it so easily, and I was like, shut up, what is this? And it was like, because what I do in my class, and I'll change my position a little bit, is there's a student sitting right here, and I'm just bent over like this, like, and I'll do it like this, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this, and I'll grab their little hands and I'll push them, and I can get it done. And it's very uncomfortable, and I don't like doing it. But it's how I have to do, because I'm not going to be like, okay, get up, I'll sit down, because that's a waste of time.
Right.
So just, like, I've had so many reps.
Just practice.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And that is something that just came with. And I've been a teacher there since last February. Mm-hmm. So a little over a year.
I kind of love that, though. I feel like that's really encouraging to somebody just starting out, because I know I never took a ceramics class before I did that college ceramics class. And oh my gosh, I was so discouraged because everyone else was taking ceramics 1. Obviously, we were all in the same class, but people were here centering their clay, you know, super quickly or making all of these things really nice. And I was just like, man, either you have it or you don't. But to just hear, if you're starting out and you can't do this, there are literal professionals, literal teachers out here who just put in the reps.
Yeah.
And eventually you got it, even if it was something you struggled with in the very beginning. I really like that.
There's, I don't know too many people, but like potters all over the world, they're like the main like job or like teaching opportunity or learning opportunity is like a residency, where you would work for a big potter where they're making a bunch of stuff, and you have like a 3-month residency with them, as like an apprentice, or just like you're just a worker, and your only job for the next 3 months is to wedge their clay, because they just need to do what they need to do, and they don't have time to wedge all their clay. So I think,
my gosh,
I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Brother Benson or if it was, I know someone had told me that they did a residency and all they did was wedge clay.
Really?
Like,
and
that's
wedging
what
is just
said.
Like the kneading the dough part. It's not throwing.
It's working out the air bubbles, making sure that the clay is homogeneous.
That is horrible. And I know they had to fight for that.
They
residency.
did, and they probably actually had so much fun, but it's grueling work.
Wow.
But also to even be like close to a master potter like that, where they're also probably a production potter making the same thing over and over and over again.
Right. Watching them work. Really, and just
watching how they can do it over and over and over again. It's just amazing.
That is so cool.
This was about 3 pounds, which is, I think I remember making my bowls about 4 pounds. But this one's not as gritty as the dark brown, so I think I can stretch it a little thinner.
Can you tell me one like dream, what's the word I'm looking for? For me, it's like gallery set, right? For you, it'd be a set of dishes if you're a production potter. Yeah. What is your dream set? This is your fine art show. You've got bowls, you've got plates, you've got cups. What do you have? What do they look like? I
want to say I peaked in college. So I had that show with the 40 bowls. And I didn't even think about doing a show until my friend said that she was doing a show, and it was like, she's like, I don't know if I'm going to fill this whole space. And I was like, I could take the other half. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do a show. And she was like a little worried for a second. She's like, you're stealing my spot? But no, she just like filling a whole, we were in the visual arts building, which is a small building, but there's a lot of space.
Right.
For all the things. And she's like, actually, this is going to work because it's going to kind of, so not everything's so spread out. Because you want it to seem full, like you did a lot. Right. So she didn't have to spread all her stuff out because then it looks less. So we took separate wings of the foyer, And I just had all my bowls, and she made lamps. Oh my gosh, she was so cool.
That's crazy.
She was so cool. Her name's Emberly. I don't know if she did a lot of other things too.
But your dream set.
My dream set. I know. But I would probably, I don't want to redo myself. I don't know. But
if it was that show, tell me what was the show like?
It was that I had made 40 carved low bowls, and I'm trying to make what was one of them. But I tried out all these different carving patterns and techniques. I didn't draw too much inspiration from like other patterns. I don't know. I really love organic carving. I'll just put one line and then I'll see how the next line is going to relate to that. They're always right next to each other. I don't have like flat gaps in between because I want 100% of it covered. And it was so fun. But I do know that when I was making the 40 bowls, I had this very strict deadline of like the end of the semester and the show, and I had to fire them, so I was even less than what I was thinking. And also you want to make more than what you anticipate because the kiln can break them or they can crack and whatever. And I did have a few cracks, so I made like 45, I think.
45?
But some of them like cracked and failed and whatever.
Oh my gosh.
But I do, there was a few of them where I'm like, I could have done better on this. This one was kind of just like, I just needed like 3 more, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do whatever. So I would probably try to do one where like I planned them out a little bit better, or I just like, I have like they relate to each other more instead of trying, like some of them were just so simple and not thought out. Like it was just like little, one of them looked like a tire, like tire treads. And I was like, I don't like how that reads. I don't want one to be like a tire.
And you're just talking about your
the
carvings.
show, yes, the carvings. Yeah, because the bowl shape, that I had a lot of fun. Like I got that shape from a previous semester, and I just loved it so much. I was like, I want to make a bunch of these. And so I think I made 8 that previous semester, and I carved like a few of them, and I was like, oh, I love this. I love how it feels. I love how it looks. I just loved everything about it. And so then I was like, okay, I get to make my own syllabus for the Ceramics 3 class. And so I can just, my teacher approved it. He's like, if you're going to make the same thing, you're going to make a lot of them. And I was like, how about 40? And he's like, that's a good number. Yeah, might be going too thin.
So one of the things I love about being a painter is, unlike photography, you can add elements to a piece, to a painting. For example, in this painting, I've got like this red curtain that I'm working with.
Yeah.
And this red curtain isn't a part of my reference photo, but it is a part of this idea of memento mori that I have going on for this painting, and about the fragility of the body. And the red curtain represents like blood and flesh in the body.
Yeah.
Can you tell me something in 3D arts that you are able to get that you're not able to get with all of these processed, mass processed plates, bowls? Yeah, what's something that you can add to those things that makes it important and
unique? You can, like, a lot of people, when they think of pottery, they think of dishes. which you can, basically this is just like the vessel. You can put whatever you want on top of it. After this point, it's a canvas. So you can add whatever like design or color or like in my case, carving to represent a story or a feeling or like whatever you want to display. So a lot of people, like production potters, they make the same thing over and over and over again. But what I took for my show, what I took from that was I made some that so I gave them all a name because when you have a show, you like, it's like flat bowl 1 or whatever.
Right.
But I had 40 of them, so I wasn't going to name them. I wasn't going to just number them. That seemed boring. So for my show, I went through my family tree and I gave each of them a name of one of my ancestors.
Yeah.
And so I originally wanted them to all be dead people because I didn't want anyone to feel too special. But I did eventually do my mom and my dad, so Scott and Pam, and I had them look at the bowls, and I had a few, I gave them a few. I was like, this one looks like my dad. It's weird to say, like, Dad, this bowl looks like you. And I would show them a few that I was like, I think these read as you. And they're like, ooh, I really like that one. So that one's the Pam. Right. And my older brother actually bought the Pam, and it's really fun.
Oh, I love that.
But all the carvings were just so different. So like some of them were kind of more feminine in a way and more masculine. So I could assign a gender to them as well, which was also interesting. So it kind of also explained the pattern a little bit. Like I assigned a name to it, but yeah. What else? So in my case, it was the carving, but there's so many, like, also in ceramics, there's sculptural, which is like non-functional statues and just like, or like non-representational art. And those can tell a story. Well, non-representational art shouldn't tell a story, apparently. If it's like abstract, no message. But in so many different ways, you can tell many different stories with clay. Right. And it's just the vessel that carries that message. But for me, that was carving. I'm going to smooth this out, and then I'm going to make it the flat part. Oh, it's getting weird. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do this. She's chunky. Okay, this is usually the part where it flops. Because I push it out farther than the foot is. It'll sag right in here. Well, I have this one story that I'm going to bag on my husband for. So it was actually part of the show that I did. A good friend of me and my husband, I think we were only dating then. So I was even more upset about it. But his friend had bought 2 of my bowls, and I put them in my carry-on so I could carefully put them on the plane and get them off the plane and in my car and out of my car. And my dear sweet husband takes my carry-on and is like, oh, it's not even that heavy. It wasn't even that heavy. And he's just like, ah. And I was like, you probably just broke Danny's bowls. And he's like, no. And so I get them out. One is fine. And then the other one is like shattered, split in half. And it's this, like, pottery is basically like, it's stone. It's like, it breaks like glass. So it's in pieces. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And so I have to break it to our friend. And he's like, oh, that's like, he's a sweetheart. He took it in great stride. And I was like, so I have an idea of what we can do with these broken pieces. There is this method called kintsugi. I believe it's Japanese in origin. I'm not sure. But it's the process of like mending things. So like,
I've heard of this. Don't you use
I know.
like gold or something?
Yes,
for
I
the
want to like
crack?
look up the definition because I'm just not well versed. There were people who like did whole projects and like written papers on it, but I did not do that. But I was like, okay, I have this broken bowl that someone wants and someone paid me for.
Mm-hmm.
And they're working with me. I don't have to like make him a whole new one. He wants that one because he was like, what's the word? He was drawn to it. And I was like, okay, so there's this thing called kintsugi where I can fix it with gold. And it used to be like molten gold, like back when it was like an ancient times thing. Don't got money for that. But there's lots, like you can get a kit on Amazon that's like gold resin. And so I got one of those and I put it together and he's like, oh my gosh, I love it even more. Especially like, and it's more decorative piece. It's not like food safe. I think there are some that like the epoxy is food safe, but I can't like, you can't trust that it's like watertight anymore,
Sure.
dishwasher safe. But he has it on like a shelf and it's on display and he like loves it even more now. And so I like saved my butt, saved my husband's butt because he was the one that broke it. And got a really, like, I got to experiment with that too, because it is like, we get taught like the message behind it. I still really want to know like the actual like definition, because I know the word has like a definition of it.
So want me to look up?
Yeah, let's read it. Because then it'll just be that much more impactful.
Kintsugi?
Yeah. Okay, I need to get a look at it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Kintsugi is the century-old Japanese art of repairing broken pottery by mending the fractures with lacquered mix with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. Rather than hiding the cracks, this philosophy treats breakage as part of an object's history, highlighting flaws to create a uniquely beautiful, resilient piece. But you want to know what the
Well, that's the like the message of it, which is like the Japanese potters that would do this. It was probably like their favorite, most used cup or bowl or whatever, and it has so much history with them that they don't want to throw it away.
Right.
They want to put it back together. I'm not sure if it was able to be used in the same way as it was before, but it can show like the history of the piece as well. Okay, I think this bowl's about done.
So a hot topic nowadays is AI. And we're talking about this art that's embracing imperfections. And without getting too into my own thoughts on AI, something I really value in art, I'll just call it real art, you know, art made by humans, is those imperfections. And I honestly believe that's something, as AI gets bigger and bigger, people are going to start looking for more. They're going to want to see those imperfections. They're going to want to see something that's human made, and it's going to make art more valuable.
Yeah.
Can you tell me your thoughts on that, embracing imperfections, what that means to you as an artist?
It is, right now it's being run by people, but there are machines that are doing it. They'll take a mold of a bowl that's been made, and they put a chunk of clay in there, and then they smash it down, and then they use basically a wheel and then a die that'll do the inside, and the mold is doing the outside, and then they pop it out and put it into a factory kiln that's firing everything all at once.
Really? Can they label those as handmade, since technically it's a handmade mold?
You know, I don't know, but they I think it's factory made. But they're people still have to load and run the machines, so that part is not yet automated. But that is a pretty huge thing. Obviously I'm using a machine right now, but I am the deciding factor of what this is going to be. It's just a tool. But I think a lot of people, I think it's the same thing why moms love anything their kids make. It's their, you can see their little, it's personal. You can see their little fingerprints. You can see in some things, if you're making a cup, you can see where they were holding it while they were painting it. They leave little finger divots.
And why is that important? Why are people drawn to that?
Human connection. I think now more than ever, ever since COVID, which was 6 years ago. Gross.
Wow.
That's so long ago. But so many people are just so scared of the real world. Being out and about in the real world, it's just... But you can have a piece that was made personally by a real human and not a robot or not a device and not a machine.
And you just believe that's a human necessity, is to feel connected to your fellow person. I agree. I think there's also an importance in seeing imperfections in day-to-day things. Yeah, because so much of the media is filled with all these perfect images. And then you go to the store and you have perfectly made bowls, perfectly made cups, perfectly made everything, because it's, mass produced. And I think it causes a sense of subconscious insignificance in us all. And art, as artists, it is a part of our job to create imperfect pieces. I mean, what's the point of a painting when you could just take a photo? What's the point of a handmade bowl when you could just buy one? But it's our jobs to be able to show those imperfections in an important way and aesthetically pleasing way, in a not aesthetically pleasing way, showing a story. Yeah, giving those imperfections a purpose.
I completely agree.
I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I have a question I ask everyone, and you can take your time thinking about it. But as an artist, when I go into a gallery, or as a 2D artist, I should say, going into a gallery, I look at a painting, and instead of seeing the painting, I always am looking at brushwork. I'm looking at techniques. I'm looking about what medium they used, why they did the size. I'm looking at all these things, and I never just look at the piece as a whole initially. As a 3D artist, you go into a gallery of pieces that you might be making. What are the things, and really take your time, think about it. What are the things that you would notice as a professional in your field that I would not think about?
One right off the bat, so pottery is used in more than just galleries. I don't go to too many pottery galleries because you can't touch the stuff. When I wish I could, this bowl's gonna flop, but anytime I'm at a restaurant and I'm like, this They're normally mass produced, but you can still see how the original one was built. I'll be like, oh my gosh, here, let me see how this was made. And you can tell a potter's a potter by if they're looking at the bottom of anything. They'll lift it up and look at the foot. Just the foot. Do you have? Oh my gosh, wait.
I do. There's one in the bathroom. Go into the bathroom.
No, there's one in the bathroom. I did it literally today when I went to the bathroom. Not that one. Not that one. The other one.
Yeah. I knew which one you were talking about too.
That one's from a store. Did you make the other one?
No.
Okay. So this one, I knew instantly. I was like, okay, I can tell this looks handmade. Mm-hmm. And I flip it over and I see the trimming. So this is like when it's
show that.
So when it's firm enough, because this is still wobbly, you don't want to touch this too much. But once it's firm enough, you can take it off of the bat and flip it over. And then you use different carving tools or different trimming tools like this. And you use them to carve away. You'd still put it on the wheel. You would like wedge it on the wheel using you would stick it on in many different ways. But you would have it still spin and you would use this loop tool to carve away extra clay so it has this nice foot ring. And I could tell this is a beginner piece. Do you know who made this?
Do you know Cooper Lott? He was a photographer at BYUS.
Yes.
Okay, I guess, well, it wasn't him who made that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a friend of his who made that.
Okay. That's so funny. I know.
Yeah. I feel like everyone knows.
Oh my gosh, he's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is probably like ceramics 1 work. Because you can still see some of the circle lines. So someone didn't take the time to smooth out the bottom, so there's still ridges. There's some people that would intentionally add a spiral. Spirals are huge in pottery. Everyone likes putting a little spiral because that's something easy you can do in the clay. But this isn't really a spiral. It's just kind of ridges. Honestly, it might have been too dry, which happens a lot in ceramics 1. Time gets away from you. They also probably held it like this and dipped it into the glaze. And yeah, I can see where it pools. This has a little bit more glaze than the rest of it, so there's probably a little drip there. This is definitely recycled clay. But yeah, if I go to a restaurant, I did this so much when I was in Europe. Mm-hmm. Because all of their Europe's Europe. It's a magical place. And I would always, I wouldn't flip it over because it had food in it. But I would, lift it up and look under. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So you can definitely see, this is still a beautiful, pot. And, I love, the color. It's very aesthetically pleasing as a handmade, object and piece of decor, but as a professional, I'm okay, so I can see step by step where they went with all the things. And wait, did Cooper Lott? He's CL.
Girl, did he make it? And I am the friend he gave it to. I'm not gonna lie. While you were talking, I'm like, did he make it? And then that's why I have it?
I remember him being in the studio a little bit. Yeah. He was mainly photography, but I remember him being there.
Yes.
But CL, I see that.
Girl, I told you he gave it to a friend. I think I'm that friend he gave it to. I don't know how I mixed that up. Okay.
That's so cute, though.
That's hilarious.
I love that. Yeah. So my number 1 thing is you're looking at the bottom and seeing how they did the foot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's so fun. That's so funny. We got to bring this in here.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I love that.
Here's my bowl. Isn't it cute?
That's awesome.
But also my vase. Let's
get a good look at the vase.
Let's get her out again. She's cute. But I would also, so like a lot of this I would trim up. So I have like, this is just the rough draft. And I would go in like this part right here. I would take a trimming tool or even this guy and I would get rid of any like little bubbles or anything. Yeah, she's not done.
Oh.
She's not done.
Yeah, because doesn't it need to get to like
leather hard
and then
leather hard.
Yeah, trim it up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Well, where can people find you? What's your Instagram?
My art Instagram is Pots by Rye. I post a few things on there every now and then. I think that's the only art account I have.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming.
You.
I think that's it.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thanks so much.
Now we gotta clean up.
I was getting to a point where I started just messing up my curtains and I'm like, I have to wait for this layer to dry or I'm making this so muddy.